but a little bit not well, doctor. That's why it's like a little bit slow.
Okay, that's good. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, just make a time, like a specific time, otherwise you will never get down to it. Say, after Subah or after Isha or after Masr or something like that, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
put it like about 20 minutes, in 20 minutes, and say, okay, like, I'm going to read the Quran that time, whatever I can. So sometimes it may be slow because you may be sort of trying to understand some of the things. Sometimes it will be very fast because it is something that you have already read earlier, because a lot of repetition comes in the Quran. But anyway, let's all get down to it and then, read the whole thing once, like maybe in a month's time. Month's time means you have to read at least 20 pages a day. Since we know most of the Quran, more than half of it, I think all of you anyway know. So if you think, okay, let's recite, let's read, you may be able to get much more than what a normal person would do, right? Nasiha, have you started reading? Is Nasiha there?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. Okay, Nasiha, did you start reading? Not yet.
Now she started, the same doctor. She started already. Yes.
Alhamdulillah. How many pages have you read?
3 pages.
For 1 week, only 3 pages? Shame, no. Why only 3 pages? Was it
Inshallah.
difficult?
Inshallah, doctor, I will start it.
Yeah, but 3 pages for a week is shameful, right? At
Yeah,
least
so
10 pages you should have done, right?
inshallah, doctor.
Yeah, there are 2 new people, Shamin and Hamna. Are you all from the young group, this one, or just Al Muslimat members, or what?
I mean, our previous staff, doctor, remember Razina auntie's niece, Charmaine?
Okay, right,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. And Hamna is?
Hamna, I don't know. Please
Yeah,
introduce Hamna, please. I don't know who's Hamna.
yeah, Hamna. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you because you're muted. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Oh no. Right. Hamna. I don't know who she is. Okay. Anyway, now is Safra has not come yet, no? Yeah, and
I'll call doctor. Wait, I'll call doctor.
yeah, and Felicia is also not here. Normally she comes. Okay, is there any questions that you all want to ask? Nadira? Just check with Safra and
Yes,
Felicia.
doctor, I'm calling. I'm calling.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we are starting about
Yeah.
join now, doctor.
Correct? She'll come now.
Yes, doctor, she's coming now.
Okay, Safra Anis, have you read the Quran? Whole of the Quran, Safra Anis?
Yes, Auntie, Alhamdulillah.
You have read the whole thing. You read while we were doing the Mata Quran?
In Hamza Auntie's place.
Yeah, at that time. No, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Okay, Safra Rosham is also here. Rosham, Safra, have you started reading the Quran? Translation of the Quran?
Yeah, I have started long time ago. Just that here and
getting
there,
slow.
yeah, I take
Yeah.
breaks and then do.
So, did you manage to read a little more this week?
Actually, no, doctor. I had to go to Candy and all that and all that. So
Right.
couldn't
Yes,
anyway
I
start.
understand.
Yeah, remembering all what you told. Inshallah, doing it.
Yeah, better keep a time for that, because what we have to do is some of the things, as I told last time, some of the things we can do and get away, yeah, get out of it. Like, so we don't want to die without having read the Quran. Right? It will be a shame, right? It will be not only shame, it will be a sad thing. You think Allah is going to say, it's okay, it's okay. You can go to heaven now. You haven't even read the Quran. You think He will allow us? Obviously not, right? He would expect us at least to have read it once at least, because that is His guidance to us, inshallah. So before you came, I was telling the girls, put a particular time, maybe soon after Subah, Fajr prayers, put away about 15 minutes. Say 15 minutes, you decide saying that, okay, I'm going to recite the Quran every day for 15 minutes. And you may be surprised to see, yeah, Shakira, yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, Shakira, we are on the other side, we are in a group. We're having the meeting, okay? Yeah, you can join that meeting, okay? Come to Al-Muslimat and then join it, okay? Right. Okay, right. Is there any questions any of you want to ask? No? Okay. Then there are two topics that I have prepared. Now, this one, care of elderly parents, is something I'm going to do tonight. There is a international lecture in the night. I sent the link to you all. That I will be doing it in Tamil really tonight online. If you all want, we can do that, but I don't know how many of you want to hear that, because most of you all probably don't have elderly parents. Probably don't have parents, to my knowledge. One or two only have. The other one that I wanted to do was this 7 habits of highly successful people. Have you all heard that? Have you all read that book? I told you, I mentioned it last time. Have you all read that? No?
We didn't read.
No?
We didn't know that book, doctor.
Okay. Do you all want to listen to that, or do you want to listen to some sort of Quranic topic, anything about a Sahabi or anything? What do you all want to hear?
I think Safra sister told that for something about Quranic something. Tafsir? Safra? Safra
Yes,
sister?
Nadira
you want?
wanted to do, no?
Yeah.
Sorry? I didn't hear you.
Nadira auntie wanted to do from the Quran. Will continue the tafsir.
Okay. Where we stopped earlier, long ago.
I think so, Nadira auntie.
Mother Auntie may not be having her speaker today.
Yes, no.
Yeah. Because 7 habits of highly successful people is also totally Islamic. There is nothing un-Islamic about it,
Yes.
right? But this was written by a non-Muslim, but there are lots of Muslim versions of it, right? Anyway, every one of us need this thing. So if you all want,
We'll do this,
we
inshallah.
do this, yeah.
Yeah.
Only thing is, I wish Isra also was here. She would have enjoyed it. But anyway, let's do this, inshallah. Because I think last time I mentioned to you all, there are some people who are very, very successful. We said the dua, no? Did I say the dua? No. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. Now, every one of us must somewhere along our life stop and think, what am I doing in this world? Why am I here? Why am I getting up in the morning, brushing the teeth and having breakfast and getting dressed and things like that? So many of us live with no purpose whatsoever. We just live like, okay, I'm here in this world, so I'll just live. Eat and drink and sleep and face the situations, whatever that comes, and whoever who is interacting with me, I'll give the interaction according to that. And then if something happens good, we are happy. If something goes bad, we are unhappy. And we live like, in a way, there's not much of a difference between animals and us, except that we can speak and we have a brain, the sixth sense that the animals don't have. But that's a sad state of affairs. But there are some people who make up their mind, okay, when I finish living here in this world, I should leave my footprint, right? At least, 2 or 3 people must say, yeah, who is that? Razina, I can hear you talking. You better mute, inshallah. So some people live in a way like, okay, I want to leave my footprint here so that when I die, at least somebody, even it is somebody in the family even, or somebody in the world would say, okay, that was a nice person, that was a good person who lived, and they did so much for me, or for this village, or for this city, or for the country, or for the world, or something like that. Now, that is what you call a successful people. Well, not necessarily only that. A person who attains whatever they want. If they don't have money, they get the money. Like they plan, how do you earn money? How do you get the money? If you don't have education, you decide how do you go about getting the education. If you don't have a job, how to go about it. But for anything and everything, you think about it and then you set a goal and then live. So somebody called Stephen Covey, he studied highly successful people. I don't know the number, I think something like about 300 people. He studied and he went and stayed with them and then discussed with them their habits and watched them and so on. And he found there were 7 habits that were common to all, right? I read this book about 30 years back, and then I started following all these habits too, right? Because living like a zombie in this world is actually discrediting Allah's blessing. Allah did not choose every tree, every animal, every bird, every speck of a dust to become a human being. Allah chose a particular number only to live like a human being. So he had done a great blessing to us by creating us as human beings. We are the best, right? I have told you all earlier. Why did Allah make the angels do sujood to Adam alayhi salam? To teach us that you people are the best of the people. And out of them, the human beings are the best of the creations, better than the jinns and better than the angels. And out of them, Allah says, Kuntum khayra ummatin, ukhrijat linnas. That is, you people are the best of the ummah when we are Muslims on one side, and even better that we are the ummah of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So you people and I are blessed, not once, not twice, thrice blessed people. So the only way that we can give thanks to Allah, there's no point in saying Jazakallah khairan Allah, because Jazakallah khairan is may Allah reward you. So how can you say that to Allah? No point. Right? Just saying thank you in English words is useless, right? That doesn't mean anything. So the Imam say the best way that you can thank Allah is do the things that Allah would love you to do. So the best thing that you can do is really to do something for His creations. Whatever Allah had created, other human beings, other animals, other creations, even vegetables or water or the air or anything like that, whatever He had created, doing something good that Allah would love us to do. So that is what we had to do. But that doesn't mean that you neglect yourself. You should look after yourself also, because you are also a new. So you have to stop and think about it. What am I really doing? Should I do something more with my life? Should I be doing something Allah will be pleased with? So we have to start thinking about those things. So now how do we go about it? Right? The first thing is, when you first and foremost thing is rediscover yourself. That is, many of us have bad impressions of ourselves. Actually, we should have very good impressions of ourselves. If you don't have, you must ask yourself, what is it that you don't like about yourself? Aren't you educated enough? Aren't you pretty enough? Aren't you rich enough? Aren't you liked by people? A lot of things that you don't like. So we should make ourselves in such a way that you start loving yourself. So to rediscover yourself, you have to look at yourself very critically and look at anything that you don't like, right? Maybe you are not a sincere person. Maybe you are not an honest person. In which case you decide, okay, from today onwards, I'm going to be absolutely honest and sincere and truthful and trustworthy. So if anybody tells me a secret, don't tell it to anybody. I'll never, never, never tell it, even if I'm killed. Or if I take money from somebody, I will make sure I will be returning it as soon as possible. And if somebody gives me an amana, I will make sure that I return it without forgetting. So that is how you make yourself trustworthy. Or you are a person who loves to backbite and slander and, gossip about other people and all. And if you stop and think that we have been listening to Qur'an some place or whatever, you don't like that, but you happen to do that. So you ask yourself, why am I doing that? Maybe your company is not good. Maybe the company is something that encourage you to backbite and slander and things like that. So that you decide either you change your company, or company means the people that you keep company with, or you decide you will tell everybody, okay, we are not going to do anything. You know what I mean? So you have to rediscover yourself. For that, first you have to want to make yourself better. So you have to decide, okay, I am going to make myself better, whatever age. Now be very, very clear on this matter. Don't think that you are too old for this. Don't think that, okay, now I'm 70, I'm 80, what can I do after that? No, you don't know how long you will be living. Right? Maybe even if you're 80, like Felicia is, Maybe, she'll live for another 20 years. 20 years is a long time. So during that time can do absolute marvelous things. So you have to stop thinking, okay, this is really the beginning, not really the end. Right? So that's the first thing that you do. Then also celebrate life, right? That is, be happy you are alive. Be happy about the things that you. These are not the 7 habits, right? This is just a basis for how you get into that mentality, right? Be happy you are alive, right? Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, always look at people below you. There will be always, without exception, there will be people below you, right? Now, generally, when you say look at people below you, we generally look at people who are poorer than us, right? Being below you doesn't mean it is poor only, right? Could be, yeah, even money-wise, yes, maybe there are people poorer than you. The miskins who come at your doorsteps and ask for about 20 rupees every day and then goes doorstep to doorstep to doorstep to collect money for their daily bread. Yeah, they are definitely better than if you are at home and then somebody is providing for you, whether with or without chicken and beef, right? Anyway, somebody is there for you to look after, then definitely you are better. But that's not the only thing. Maybe you are poor, but you have children. Maybe there are multi-millionaires like Lalit Kotalawala. He built up all that huge companies and so on, but they never had a child. And that was quite a bit of a thing for him to talk about, and they worried about it. But there was nothing much they could do about it. So if you have a child, you have to thank Allah that I'm better off than Lalit Kothalav. Of course, he fell into disrespect, but compared to his money, none of us can even dream of coming to that level. Not that you can't, you can, and you can reach it, but basically, right, things like that. Or maybe, somebody else is having a lot of children and money and things like that. Maybe, they have got an illness. Maybe they have got cancer. Or maybe somebody else have children, but the child has gone astray or something like that. May Allah forbid all of us, right? So, inshallah, so we have to keep looking at people below us so that you feel, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, I am blessed. Every one of us are blessed in one way or another, and we have to recognize the blessing, and we have to recognize and consciously think about it. This is why I always tell you all, if you don't have this habit, start this habit either the previous night or in the morning, first thing in the morning. Thank Allah for 3 things, right? One is something Allah had given you which you haven't thanked yet. For example, you can see, you can hear, you have 2 hands, you have 2 legs, you can speak, and maybe you don't have any illness today. So those are things that you should thank Allah. Every day thank Allah for one thing. Second, thank Allah for somebody doing a good deed to you within the last 24 hours. Because every day, if you keep thinking about it, I'm sure, 100% sure, every one of us had at least one good thing done to us by anybody. It could be you are walking on the road and your handkerchief fell or something, somebody took it and gave it to you. Maybe that, or maybe you are really in need of, a huge help, and then suddenly somebody came forward and did it. It may be a miracle, it may not be a miracle. It could be something that you were expecting, you are asking, and you are hoping, and it happened. Whatever it is, right? Whatever that happened to you, think about it and thank Allah. Second thing. Third thing is thank Allah for something you could do for somebody else, right? In which case you will start thinking, okay, every day I have to do something for somebody, and that way every day you have something to thank Allah for. because that is not something that everybody has. But if you set your heart about it, you will have. So think about even a small thing. Maybe you called one of your sick aunties and said, "Hello, auntie, how are you? Are you okay? Did you get your medicine? Are you eating?" I mean, that's a good thing, right? Many people don't do that. If you take time every single day to give a call to somebody, anybody, nowadays anybody, for that matter, if any of you call me also, I'll be very happy, because everybody need people, and unlike those days, this human touch is being lost amongst us. So calling somebody or helping out somebody or getting somebody to helping somebody to cross the road or getting into a bus or something like that, that you did, think about it. So these three things every day, if you can think about it, and then you can thank Allah either the previous night or in the morning, first thing in the morning, right? Maybe before Fajr, or if you get last minute for Fajr, maybe soon after Fajr. Then if you can think about it, you will have an attitude of gratitude. Your mind will be set on gratitude, thankfulness. If you have thankfulness in your mind, then you will be basically a happy person, right? People who are quarrelsome, troublesome, sad most of the time, or difficult to get along with, those are the people who never think about these positive things. The gratitudes for small things. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, right? It could be something very small. For example, I managed to get this phone cover one of these days from eBay. Of course, I paid for it and I bought it. But whenever I look at it, I feel a sense of gratitude because I love that. Right? I know that comparatively that's nothing, right? But that is also something that you feel happy about it, and you every time you feel happy about it, you say, Alhamdulillah, Allah, you gave me this one. Maybe you could have got something better, maybe you never had something like that. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have, look at something and say, Alhamdulillah. You will see a huge difference in your life. If you're all the time full of gratitude for Allah, gratitude for people, gratitude for incidences that are happening. Maybe you see a plant that you were hoping will grow. Suddenly, it's growing. You look at it and say, Alhamdulillah. Anything, right? A sense of gratitude is the basis of celebrating life. So your life is worth celebrating because Allah did not create human beings out of everything. Allah created human beings with a very specific purpose. Ma khalaqta hadha batila. Right? We are supposed to say in the Quran, recite in the Quran, Allah is making us say that, Ya Allah, you did not create anything in vain. So Allah created me with a specific purpose. So I want to reach the best. So to celebrate. That's why Mahatma Gandhi says, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning. So you believe that you can do it because you're full of gratitude for the things that you have. Okay, then, right. Then you have to have a purpose in life. Why am I living? What is the purpose of my life? So that is the first quality. They are saying the first quality was being proactive, right? Do not just live back like a doormat, right? A doormat is just there. People come and step over them and then go in and then they go on, and then you are just sitting there, either feeling sorry for yourself, saying, okay, everybody is stepping over me and wiping their feet over me and going, or you feel sorry, I'm useless for anything else, or you feel sorry, I have ended up here, why can't I go inside the house and be something? No, you without feeling sorry for yourself, be proactive. Okay, I can be better. Remember, everybody can be better every day, right? Every day, even if you come to the pinnacle of your career, pinnacle of your dream, still there is some more to go. Sky is the limit. And as you know, sky is limitless. So you can go higher and higher and higher and higher. So keep thinking, I should go further. So, and also don't wait for things to fall into your lap or trouble to fall into your lap and then hold the baby and crying and so on. No, they just think, okay, what should I do to change a situation at home? What should I change to change my job or my knowledge or my ability, anything, right? So think about being proactive, right? That's the first one. So for that, you begin with an end in mind. So for that, you have to start thinking, what do I want to be? Whatever your age is, wherever you are, whatever you have achieved, don't sit down and say, okay, that's enough, right? For example, now you have it doesn't have to be exactly like for a profession or a qualification or something like that. Okay, maybe, you have a son. Okay, you decide, okay, my son, I want to make him a highly professional person. Now, that is a end in mind, right? Maybe you want to make yourself somebody better, or make maybe somebody, your child or somebody around you better, or I want to be a better daughter than what I have been. Always have something to look forward to think about it. So begin with an end in mind, but being a good daughter, if you haven't been, is a small one. But if you have been very, 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 very negative or failure at that, yes, that's a very good time, good end to start with. First, so think about it. Okay, I haven't been a good daughter. I should be a good daughter. So what are the things I should start doing? So that's the first thing that you have to say. Begin with an end in mind. Then it is said, first things first. Or it is also said, feared things first. So sometimes we decide we want to do certain things. And ideally for this, you should get to do what you call to-do list, right? I don't know how many of you have that habit. I've been having that habit even before I read this book. That is one of the tools of the most successful people. Without getting up in the morning and then, doing whatever that comes across and things like that. And at the end of it in the night, thinking, oh dear, I should have done that. I should have paid my child's school fees today. I should have visited this person today. I should have called that person today. I should have paid the electricity bill today. Today's the last day. If I haven't paid, tomorrow they might cut the electricity. Without thinking like that, every day, put down what you want to write, right? I have told you, showed this several times to you all. On my table, if you all come anytime, sure, right? There is this book is here, right? In this, every day, whatever I need to do, it is all written like this, right? Like this it is written. And then as and when it is done, either I tick it or mentally I look at it and say, okay, that's done, that's done, that's done. Sometimes you may not do it, but what you are doing on that list is first things first. Some things have to be done immediately. Some things has to be done, some things you hate to do. So for example, say your child says, child is being bullied by a teacher, right? It happens to all of us. It had happened to me also. So you want to go and speak to either the teacher or the principal, but you fear that. You don't want to do that, but you have to do that, right? So that's first things first. So whatever that you don't like to do it, you hate to do it because the consequences are not really nice of doing it, but it's very important that you should do it. Then always pick them first. So once you get this habit, the things that you don't like to do or that has to be done is done that day itself without postponing it, without procrastinating. You will find a sense of power in yourself. You will feel, okay, I can do anything, I can achieve anything, I can handle anything. And then you will find most of the time what you fear has no real thing to fear about at all, right? Maybe you wanted to go and speak to this teacher, but every time they think about it, no, I don't know what that teacher might do. The teacher might shout back at me, or might be nasty to me, or may say, that's not something for you to say, something like that, or may become unpleasant and so on. But actually, when you go and speak to them, you find that they are the ones who are really scared, and they say, oh, yes, madam, sorry, if I have upset your son or daughter, I'm not going to do that, I'm sorry about it. 99% of the time, right? What you fear is actually an imaginary monster. And when you actually go and face it, you will find that monster is not there at all. Maybe 1% of the time you might find somebody who is nasty, difficult, and maybe rebellious or whatever. Then you have to think about how to handle it. That's another story. But basically, get used to this doing the to-do list and handling the first things first. That is, all the feared things first. Get used to doing that first, and then you will find whatever you need to do is done and finished and put away. So tomorrow is another day where you have a fresh list of things. But there will be definitely some of the things you wanted to do which you did not do that day for some reason, either lack of time or rain or other things took longer than what you wanted to take, and things like that could be there. It doesn't matter. I mean, you don't have to finish all, but generally when you have a list, that gets done, right? Many people, the problem is many people write the list but never look at it, right? Now, in which case it's purposeless. You have to write the list and you have to look at it and you have to make sure you do them. Maybe one of the things that you wrote today, you will end up doing only next week, because you just did not get down to it for some reason. It doesn't matter. As long as you get it done, that's fine. So it's in your list and you keep seeing that, and therefore you want to do it and you will end up doing it because you have got this habit, to-do list, right? And first things first. Okay. Then, third thing is think win-win. I have spoken to you all about this. Whenever you have any difference of opinion, any contradiction with people, arguments or discussions which ultimately end up with a fight. It could be with your husband, it could be with your children or your parents or outsiders, friends or enemies or in the office place or whatever. So in this, you must always think about how to not to lose the people. Many of us win the argument by losing the people. And they'll never be your friends again because you have been so nasty. I've spoken to you all about it. There are 4 ways you can deal with people: lose-lose, lose-win, win-lose, and win-win, right? At the end of it, the lecture, in case you all don't remember that, ask me again. I will explain that to you. Do you all know what I'm talking about? Yeah?
Yes, Auntie.
Okay, all you all have heard this, no? So we will listen. Then, whenever you are dealing with people, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Most of the time, we are either upset or angry or hurt because the other people don't understand us. We are trying to tell them, we try to discuss something with them, and then they're all the time, negating you or arguing with you or putting you down or something like that. Now, very important to first to try to understand that. Recently, Shivani taught me a very important lesson. She said many of the time this happens because many of us in any conversations, leave alone argument and things like that, even in conversations, most of the time what happens is we hardly listen to the other person talking to us. We are all the time thinking, what is my response going to be? Especially if there's a difference of opinion, we are always thinking, no, what you're saying is wrong, and I want to say this, and we are in a hurry to say what we want to say, and therefore we don't listen to them at all properly, or misunderstand them, or you maybe perfectly clearly understand them, but when you respond, the other person doesn't think that you understood them. So she was talking because she is doing a study on this with a group of people. She's teaching English to this international community, and they are doing this study where how people are responding to each other when they are talking. They're actually studying English. In the sense, spoken English is the real theme in this group, but they're also studying how people are responding. And they have come across, now she and another professor and some people are doing these studies while teaching English also. So they have come across something that Socrates, long ago, the Greek philosopher, what he had said is really happening now, and even worse than when he said. What he said is, most of the time people don't listen to people, rather they're all the time wanting to express their views. So what she said, what Socrates had taught people is, when somebody is talking to you, especially if there is going to be a difference of opinion, right? Maybe you are discussing something with your husband, and the husband has a different view and he's saying something, but you want to say, no, that's not right. Let me say this. In which case, normally what happens is he says something, you say something, and then he gets more sort of agitated and says something in a louder voice, and then you get upset, and then you say something, and then it escalates into a fight, or escalates into a situation where neither of you want to talk, and then you turn away from each other and go away. So I'm sure every one of you would have faced this, not only with husband, could be with anybody, maybe with a son or daughter, or with a mother or father, or with a friend or anything like that. This can happen. So what Socrates had actually said was, when a person is talking, especially if it is something that you do not agree with, first try to understand, then to be understood, like what they say here. In which case, what you have to do is reflect. What do you mean by reflect is, one is reflecting what they are telling you, reflecting it back to them. Or the other meaning of reflect is, you reflect in your mind what is happening. So what Socrates has said is, if somebody is saying something, let's say we are talking about an fact, whether it is allowed to do Maulud or not. So somebody says, okay, we have to do Maulud. No, you are of the opinion, no, Maulud is shirk. So instead of saying, the moment they start saying Maulud, instead of saying, they say, okay, Maulud is praising Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We are all getting together once a year on his date of birth, day of birth, birthday. We are praising him. That's what he's trying to say. And then instead of saying, no, that Rasulullah never did it, people did not say it, and then things like that, the first weapon of diffusing antagonism is listen to them and then telling it back to them. Okay, what you mean to say is praising Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on his birthday is a good thing. Is that what you're saying? Then 90% of the antagonism is diffused. Because most of the time, if you think about yourself also, when you're arguing with somebody, most of the time you get frustrated and that leads to anger, that leads to antagonism, is something you say, you're not getting what I'm saying. You can't understand what I'm saying. You're not listening. You're not really, realizing what I'm saying. You are just saying what you are saying. That's how the argument goes, right? So you totally understood it. You perfectly know it. But when the other person knows that you actually have taken time to understand it and to rephrase it and to reflect it, that gives them a lot of peace of mind. Okay, this person understands what I'm saying. So you're supposed to say, okay, you are doing this because praising Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in a song form on his birthday. That's a good thing, right? Is that what you're saying? Obviously, they will say yes, that is what it is. Then you can put forward your distancing. Okay, that's a good one. One of the very important way of getting the other person to agree to you for your view, that's a linguistic thing. The first thing they say is to agree with them, right? They agree with them. And then say but. Right? But without saying that, you start with a but, then, you have demolished the chance of negotiation. So you say, okay, I understand. Yes, that is a good thing. Then you say, okay, why not do it every day? Or why not do it the way that Rasulullah Sahabas did? Or why not do it in a way that you and I understand without reading something in Arabic, which we don't know. Some people do that. So then you put forward, and then they will not reflect unless they also know this trick. They will not reflect. They may get angry or whatever, but they will feel very comfortable arguing with you. They will feel every time they say something, you reflect it. You stop, understand, and then word it and tell them the way that you understand. And you will be amazed. Sometimes it's not what you thought. Right? And that person will say, no, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, tell me what you're saying. And then you really understand. And then you really understand. The whole argument was on a misunderstanding. Actually, they might have been saying exactly the same thing that you have been thinking. I'm not talking about the Maulud, something else. So first always seek first to understand the other party and then to be understood. You want yourself to be understood, but you have to really understand. That's why they say the best of the conversationalist, right? There are some people who get on very well with people. Right, quite a lot, quite well with people. I know that I'm one of them. I get on even with the worst enemy who hate my guts. If I sit to chat with them, I know that I can easily get them onto my side or get friendly with me because I'm a good listener. I learned this long ago, long before Islam, long before 7 Habits. I learned this. Instead of trying to say what you want to say, if you can just sit and listen, okay, talk about it. And then occasionally put in one word or two words. Okay, then what happened? So you did this. Okay, how did you come to this? One or two words like that, and then listen. Anybody will fall for it. Right? These are small tricks that this is not to achieve wrong ends, not to cheat them or not to take their money and run away or something like that, to make people friendly with you. I've told you one of the signs that Allah loves you is if people around you love you. That is because the angels have put love in their hearts. So whom will Allah love? Allah will love the people who love people. So we have to understand that everybody has goodness in them, and there will be some naughtiness, the bad habits, bad intentions, bad things will be there. But basically, human beings are born in fitra. That is Rasulullah's words. Everybody, even the worst of the worst of the worst of the characters, have goodness in it. That is why it is said, even Firaun, though he is the worst enemy of Allah, still he had some goodness in it. That's why he allowed Musa alayhi salam to be brought up in his house when Asya alayhi salam took the baby from the river and said, okay, let's bring it up. I mean, if he didn't have an atom of kindness or even at least the love for the wife or whatever that made him give permission, was some goodness in him, right? So he may have been very bad to the Banu Israel people, but to his own people he was very good. So like that, we have to recognize the fact everybody, without exception, have goodness in them. So we have to work on that and try to understand that, and then try to put our views, whatever that we want, to be understood by them after that. Now, you will find that really takes you quite fine life, inshallah, right? And then synergize. Synergize means, this is in office complex also, it's very important. Two people can do, say, 20% of work. If both of them combine together and then do the work together, instead of 20% of time, they can do 80% of the time, 80% of the work. Because synergizes, instead of doing individually the work, you do your work, I'll do my work, and then the third person does your work. No, you look at to see how people can integrate their work. If we know this fact, like a person who's doing the accounts also may be able to read the appeals. A person who is reading and writing the appeals down can also maybe go and collect the letters from the post office. So it doesn't have to be like individually into boxed themes. Okay, you do this and that is it. You have to do all of them, and nobody is going to come and help you or interfere in your work. I will do mine, and individually if you start doing, it will take a long time and the work done will be very, very minimal, right? Whereas if you synergize, that you help each other and see who can integrate with another person in whatever they are doing with the proper capacity and proper ability and so on, then your work that gets done will be not just double, it will be exponentially higher. So this is one of the habits that they found in the successful people. They did it that way because instead of trying to do everything themselves, saying I'm the best one to do, no, you synergize with people. Maybe ultimately you have to supervise it and make sure it's done properly. But maybe if not the whole project, you can give parts of the project to different people and then integrate all of them and then make sure that it is done. You don't have to categorize and compartmentalize the work, rather integrate and delegate and then make people work with together by synergizing, right? Then last one is, but not the least, is sharpen the saw, right? I think you all know the story. There were two people who were working with Mudalali. He wanted people to, both of them to cut trees in the jungle. So the first day, both of them cut equal number of trees. Then the second day, third day, fourth day, when he was saying, one person was getting less and less and less and less. From 10 it went to 8 and went to 7 and like that. The second person from 10, he kept on at 10, sometimes going to 11 and 12. So he was wondering, what is this? Both of them are equal age, both of them are of equal body build, and they are doing exactly the same work. What is happening? So he wanted to check. So when he went to see, the person who was cutting less and less was furiously cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting, sweating and sweating. Without resting, he was cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. But at the end of the day, he was only finishing just about 6 or 7. Whereas when he went to see the other person was nicely relaxing, whistling, having a sandwich, not really, cutting and cutting and cutting like the other person. And he was sharpening the saw. He was sitting and sharpening the saw. So he was surprised. You cut much more than another person. Wow. How come? You're relaxing and eating sandwich and whistling and not even working. You're sharpening the saw only. He said, yes, that is what makes me cut more. This is a very important lesson, right? Don't kill yourself trying to do all the work at a rate and then get yourself burnt. This is where the power nap comes in. Rasulullah also said, right? Either during the day, either before Lohar or after Lohar, take a little nap. That is called Khailula in the Hadith, 1500 years back, he told about that. Now the management gurus are talking about power nap. That is, when you are working in between, take a little rest so that you re-energize yourself, and also you sharpen the saw. Whatever that you are working with, make sure that you improve that now and then. For example, if you are a person working in the computer, what the computer taught us 10 years back is not what it is. I don't know how many of you know by now that into the phone or into the laptop, you can just dictate when you just talk, even WhatsApp messages. When you, there's an icon, when you click that and when you talk, if you have put English, the language as this thing, if you speak in English, the whole thing is written. It maybe by making one or two mistakes, you can correct it. If it is Tamil, it will write in Tamil. If it is in Arabic, it will write in Arabic. Same app is available on the laptop also. Are you all aware of that? Now, if you did not take time to learn this, you would be spending loads of time typing in. Obviously, typing in takes much longer than talking. Like this, there are in anything and everything. There are new discoveries, new ways, new things, or even, making yourself a better person. Maybe your eyesight is not very good. Instead of saying, oh, I can see, what is this, like that, going and get a pair of glasses. That is sharpening the soul, right? Maybe you need the glasses, so sharpening the soul. Learn new tricks, learn new techniques. If you are a specialist, say a doctor or an engineer or this one, learn what is coming into the field, new discoveries, better ways of treating, better treatment, better medicines and things like that. That is sharpening the soul. So these are the 7 things that we should know. Remember, you are special, right? You are special in the eyes of Allah. Allah created you very special, with special abilities, with special talents, with special possibilities. You have to recognize yourself to be special. That's why they started by saying you have to love yourself. So if you are to love yourself, you have to make yourself a lovable person. If you are looking at a person like you from outside your body, you should be able to love that person. Why are you loving that person? That person has good manners. That's the first and foremost thing. The manners are good. The way they get along with people is good. The way they speak to people, whether they are seniors or juniors, the people who are below them, how do they get along with them? People who are disabled or difficulties or poor people and so on, how you manage them. If you see somebody who is dealing with a person who's coming to ask for help, very kindly, okay, what can we do for you? Okay, give this letter. We'll try to do something. We are not sure, but we will try to do something. Or somebody who comes to give a letter, is it, what did you come? Where? Yeah, I don't know. We may be able to. We may not be able to. No, we can't do anything about it. We are not doing anything now. Just forget about it. If you are a bystander and watching these 2 people, whom would you like? Obviously, you would like the first person. So you should become that first person. So you have to ask yourself, if somebody is watching me, of course, all the time Allah is watching you, right? He is assessing you. That's what taqwa is about, God consciousness. But we often forget that. But we can say, if somebody is watching me, would they like me? Because you have to like yourself. For that, your manners have to be good, and you have to keep improving your abilities. Right? If you don't know a language, people are talking in English all the time and you don't speak, improve your English. If somebody is speaking Sinhalese you don't understand, learn that. And if somebody is good at photocopying and printing and all these things, and then you don't know, you are just typing and waiting, no, let me do that, right? So learn that. So by doing that, you start liking yourself and do everything the right way. Don't do anything haram or forbidden or hated by Allah. That way, when you look at yourself, you will love yourself. So remember, you are special in the eyes of Allah, and you have to learn to improve yourself all the time, right? So those are the 7 things that we, all of us, have to do. So to recap, be proactive, right? Don't sit back on your laurels and expect things to come, manna to fall on your lap. No, you plan and you do something. Begin with an end in mind, right? Put first things first or feared things first. Think win-win all the time. With all your interactions with people, it should be only win-win, right? And first seek to understand, then to be understood, and then synergize with people. Whatever you are doing, synergize with people. And 7th habit is sharpen the soul, right? Improve yourself, improve your talents. Take time to rest and recap your energy, and then keep on learning new tricks. That's it. And you will find you are better every day. And have a goal. Every day, that is the first thing, right? Being proactive is just not being sitting there and waiting for life to take you where it takes you, but you decide where you want to go, and because of that, you set up a goal and then work. Okay, I'll stop there. Did that make sense? Was that useful to you all? I don't know what mentality you all were in. You all were here for a Quranic class, but this sounds like, not Quranic, but it's not un-Quranic. It is very much Quranic. This is what Allah wants us to be. Yeah? Any questions? Any comments? Suraya?
Yeah, Auntie. I was giving space for others. No one is ready. It was
No,
wonderful.
it's okay.
Mashallah. It was very, I think personally, it's really very, very useful for me. And I was also looking to start a communication. I don't know. I have like, as you were saying about the Miladun Nabi, I have one of my in-laws. I mean,
Yeah.
one of my I was planning to start a communication with one of my someone senior, and someone out of respect I should speak, and then there's a lot of things to be considered, and I don't know to start and to tell how to start the communication with her. It was really, really
Yeah.
useful. Yeah.
There is another lecture I do, how to sell a fridge to Eskimo. You can
That sounds
fridge to
good.
an Eskimo, right? If only you know how to, right? You can persuade anybody for anything, right? Yeah, I'll quickly tell you some of the points since you're going to this thing. Maybe I can do the topic in detail one day, but then this thing. First thing, there are about 5 or 6 tips, right? The first thing is, as much as possible, let these discussions be in a place that you choose, preferably it is in your house or in an area where you have authority in some way, right? If you go to their house, there are some things where you wouldn't feel like doing. Whereas if it is your house, that is the first thing. Choose the place. Or if you can't, right? If you can't get them to come to your house, then try to choose a neutral place. Right? Let's go for a cup of coffee and then, discuss it there or something like that. Right? That's the first thing. Right.
Okay.
Thing is, mirror image them. Mirror image means watch how they are seated. Right? If they are seated like this, right? You also sit like this. Right? If they are with one leg over the other leg, you sit like that. If they are sitting to a side of the chair, you also sit just to a side of the chair. Do everything the way without appearing to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very slowly, mirror image them. Then this apparently gives the opponent a feeling like, okay, this person is just like me, right? So that settles them. Apparently, these are nuances which are not mentioned, but that had been proved, right?
Okay.
That and speak the same language. If they are talking in Tamil, talk in Tamil. If they are talking in English, talk in English. If they are talking in mixed Tamil and English, talk in mixed Tamil and English, right? Use the same language and use the same tone, right? Don't go higher, don't go low, right? Be parallel to them. Of course, if they start shouting and all, of course, that's a different thing. But generally, keep the tone around the same thing, and then same language, same tone, same pose, everything, right? Then the most important thing what you should have learned today is seek to understand and to be before you being understood. So whenever they say anything, something, always say yes. Yes, I understand. You may not agree with it. And for the summers, I say, Maulud is highly accepted ibadah. They say something like that, which is not, right? But you say, yes, I understand why you say that, right? Why, what the yes mean is immaterial. But the word yes immediately puts a lot of water in the fire. Right? The fire goes down. Okay, she has agreed with me. She has agreed with me. So anything and everything, you say yes. By the way, those people who are having problems with arguments with husbands, this is fantastic tool, right? If you first agree with them and then say something, then most of the time,
I know,
they don't
auntie.
really coming.
When you were telling, I was thinking like, everyone should know, then it will be a big trick, like, or they learn out of it. I mean, especially.
Yeah, the thing is, this is very much out there, but who is going to sit and read this? They think this is boring, right? But this is the most interesting lesson that I have learned.
All right.
We did NLP, right? Neuro linguistic
Yeah.
programming. My husband and me, both of us went for the same class, same program by Umar Khan. Umar Khan is the leading sort of expert in the world on NLP, neuro-linguistic program. He came to Sri Lanka at that time, about 25 years back. Both of us went for the same program, and he charged us at that time something like 3,000 rupees. You know how much it is now? It's 1.5 lakhs now. For the same thing that he taught us at that time. And I got it done for Al Muslim people free of charge. Did for us at that time. Nazli auntie and all those people followed, old people. Right. So this is very important to say yes. You even if you don't agree with the point, you just say yes. I understand why you say that. Or you say, yes, I also thought so. Yes, I also used to be so. Right? So that yes makes a lot of connection. Like it makes it very easy for them. Right? And also the reflection. I told you about the reflection. When they say something, listen to it and then reword it or rephrase it or say exactly the same word back again and say, you mean to say that Maulud is a highly respected ibadah. You mean to say that? Yeah, is that what you say? Yeah, right? So they feel very pacified with the fact that you listen to them, right? Without trying to answer all the time, because they have the human nature is, everybody is trying to put in their 2 cents worth without listening. So when somebody listens to you, you feel very pacified. Oh, this person really is listening to me and clarifying. So you say that, and then go for the win-win, right? Never put them. Do you know the win-win thing? What I have taught earlier.
I
Win-win.
have read it in my book. I mean, my course is there in sociology, so they have in the communication about that.
Win-win is never put the other person down to a place where they are ashamed or they are made to feel small. They are made to feel that you have won over. You must always make the argument in such a way that you make them feel, okay, I see your point, but okay, we are equals. There's a trick to that. There are lots of points there that comes how to do that. But basically, you make them feel happy that you had a discussion with them. not an argument. That's what win-win is all about. Right? Neither you winning and then making them lose, or you losing and sulking and making them win. Then, you become antagonistic. Okay, that's all right. Now, ultimately, you can always agree to disagree. Right? You can agree to disagree. You can say, okay, I see your point. You're not going to change your idea, but this is what I think. But let's agree to disagree. It's okay. I mean, that's not the end of the world. After all, you are saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. I'm saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And we are agreeing with a lot of kafirs who are saying Allah does not exist at all. If we can agree with them, why not we agree? We'll agree to disagree, and maybe Allah will guide one of us to the right path. If the other one, that person is on the wrong path, right? Fine. Let's talk about something else, and then talk about the cricket match or Dilini or whatever. Of course, be careful. Talking about Dilini also can be backbiting, right? So be careful. Okay. So, agreeing to this.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Yeah.
This is Marina. This is how I was in Al Muslimat, no?
Yeah, I know, mashallah. We did all that, no, alhamdulillah. That was a time, that was, it was small, no?
Yeah.
And very close, and everybody was working together, practically in the office every day, like, and it was, but we had such a lot of opposition. Oh, people were ready to murder us, but nobody murdered us. They even threw a stone at us. But behind our back, they were killing us, but in front of us, they were so nice.
When we
Right?
started Mu'minin.
Yeah. We taught all this.
Yes.
Right? So, Suraya try all this, and it's very interesting. I told you about the mirror imaging.
It's amazing. I was thinking, why, if we have taught it in the courses, then why not we have like 1-day workshop or something like that for girls? But I would love to learn all this.
What I was going to say was that my husband and I went for the same things, and same day, same project, same this thing. I practice almost all of them. He doesn't practice almost any of them.
Get it.
He is the management guy, right? He is a management guru, right? He will beautifully teach all this, but I do all this and he doesn't even recognize that I'm doing this, right? Mirror imaging, and he doesn't recognize it. Because what happens is most of us sometimes learn a lot, but it's only theoretical, right?
But
so
ladies are more into getting these stuffs, auntie. I mean, girls like to catch this part in communication.
because we want to have our way anyway.
Yeah, maybe.
And also, I think I taught another trick. This is in case you want to get your husband to agree with you. I think I taught you, right? That is, the wording makes a big difference, right? Suppose, the ladies are multitasking, possible for them. Ladies can think about 2-3 things at the same time and then keep them separately and come to a conclusion. Men find it very difficult to multitask. They can only unitask. So, say for example, now if I'm watching to see that my husband is coming, they say, you are teaching all these tricks to the suppose you wanted to come for the bayan today, right? So, you know that if you ask your husband, can I go to the bayan tomorrow? That's yesterday you should have asked no permission. If can I go to the bayan tomorrow, you're 100% sure he is going to say no. You have a lot of work at home, you have to go to the child's school, you have to cook and clean, you have to do this and that and so on. You can't go. No, you don't have to go. Don't go. But at the same time, instead of saying, can I go to the bayan tomorrow? If you have asked, him, tomorrow's bayan, do you think you can drop me or do you think I should take a Uber? You'll be amazed how they say, no, I think you'd better take a Uber, because they can't think, okay, should she go first, and then, how she's going cannot be, that is multitasking. Right? This is an amazing tool. Unfortunately, however much I teach people, this is not something that everybody can remember. You have to be pretty shrewd, really. 1 minute, Imana calling. Hello. Yes, Imana. Hello.
Doctor, where are you?
I'm at home. Yeah. That is something you must remember. It is not only to your husbands. Anything, right? Anybody, you have to stop and think, but how, with a woman, you won't be able to get away with it. The woman will turn around and say, who said you can go? You'd better stay home, right? Generally, 90% of the women are shrewd, sharp, because they can see that and this. Men can't see both. They cannot say,
right?
you have to go or not, and then how are you going? So they can concentrate on only one, right? Interesting.
Very interesting, auntie.
Yeah, life is a
They never learn
game.
this stuff.
I know, life is a game we play all the time. We are playing games, right? Without recognizing. If you realize that this game is something you can always win, of course, not doing anything haram or against Allah's orders, but if you are doing the right thing, and then if you remember this, like chess. Are you good at chess?
No, auntie.
No. If any of you really want to be that shrewd, you have to learn chess. Because chess, you have to think 2 steps ahead. Not 1 step ahead, 2 steps ahead. Because, because each of these pieces move in different directions.
Yeah, auntie, but can we play? I don't know. Like from small, my dad used to say it's not good to play that. We had chessboard and all, but he was very particular. Like Prophet have told. So just for a knowledge, this thing, but don't play it and all.
No. There is a hadith to say about playing a game, right? Imams say that used to be played for money.
Okay.
Playing for money, of course, is haram. Right?
Okay.
That is gambling. All chance, no?
Doctor,
Okay.
can you open the door? I'm at outside.
Okay, I'll come. Yeah. Hold on
So
for
that
a minute.
dam and all can be played, auntie.
Of course. Hold on for a minute. Right, Imana, I say I'll open the door. Umu is not here. Anyway, we have to stop also, no? I'll come back. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, girls? Otherwise, we can stop there. 12:30. Yeah. Safra has any questions? Safra? No questions? Are you all there? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop there then, no? 12:30. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.